Lego, come on, man. Why do you gotta be cheering for the team when they win? You said yourself, you kinda want a draft pick. You don't think the team's good enough to be a playoff team. I know, I said that. I still would prefer if they went out there and got the best draft pick possible, but despite all that stuff being true, this team can sometimes be such a treat to watch. Actually, no, scratch that. Not this team. What am I talking about? This team. Thatcher Demko! The Vancouver Demkos have defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2 in regulation here in Vancouver. Now I'm going to tell you just a little bit about my day, and you're going to have to listen to it because I actually didn't watch the majority of this hockey game as it went down. You see, when everybody was talking about the Maple Leafs and Canucks game being at 7 p.m., I was like, okay, it's here in Rogers Arena. People are saying 7 p.m., therefore it's probably going to be a 7 p.m. Vancouver start, right? So little old me, and I say little old me because I'm only 5'3", and the guys who have been sticking around on this channel for a while know about that. I scheduled myself a Facebook Marketplace meetup to sell some stuff at the mall at like 4:30, and the guy didn't come until like 5:30. So you could sort of imagine my discomfort when I'm sitting in the mall at a bubble tea shop, sipping on my Thai milk tea, and just waiting for my guy, and I see a notification pop up on my phone. JT Miller, 1-0 Vancouver Canucks in the first period. I was like, wait, I thought it was at 7, and then it's like, oh, 7 p.m. Toronto time. Oh, no. Gosh darn it, man, I'm gonna miss the Leafs game. And so I begrudgingly waited on this guy, and I kind of pulled up my Shaw TV app, tried to get some footage of the game going on there. I didn't want to get too much, though, because, you know, LTE data is quite expensive sometimes. But I saw the highlights that everybody was talking about. Okay, JT Miller starts the game off with a very nice goal where it's a passing play from Boeser to Miller, who throws it over to Horvat, who comes right in front, and it finds its way back over onto the stick of Miller after Horvat completely takes out the goaltender Mrazek as Mrazek tries to poke it away. 1-0 on this very good lineup that we had seen. Everybody was talking about this Miller-Horvat-Boeser line heading into tonight's action. Oh, it's the expiring contract line, and that's kind of unfortunately true in a comical way. But give it a few more minutes, and I get myself another notification on my smartphone. It is Brock Boeser on the power play. This one, it's Miller, who reverse passes behind his own back to OEL. You know, that sweet, sweet behind-the-back pass that he does to the guy who's at the top of the umbrella. Oliver Ekman-Larsson shoots it. It bounces out in front, and Brock Boeser is right there to putt in the rebound by Mrazek. It is 2-0 Vancouver, 6 minutes into the frame. And because there are no notifications that pop up for anything aside from goals, I kind of went the rest of the first period just unaware of what was going on. Eventually, I see more notifications pop up in the second period. Auston Matthews in the power play, a very nice one-timer after a brilliant setup by John Tavares. I thought Tavares was going to come in and rip this one in the backhand, but no, he does the extra little guarantee pass to send it over to Matthews to open up the angle and give him a more wide shot to shoot at. And then you had yourselves Ondrej Kase a few minutes after that, who tips in a Spezza shot over the shoulder of Thatcher Demko. It's immediately 2-2 off of 2 straight power play goals for Toronto. And one thing that I actually noticed when I returned home, because I returned home right before Juho Lammikko scored, and then we had the third period where there were no more goals. One thing I noticed upon watching this game only for, like, the third period, is that Toronto was really passy. Like, yes, they shot the puck a ton. They had 53 total shots on goal. Demko made 51 saves, so new career high for him. Fantastic. But even though the Maple Leafs had so many shots, there were a lot of these opportunities they had where you had a guy coming to the net with speed, he passes it off to another guy who's got a great angle, and instead of just taking the wide open shot, he tries to force an extra pass to another guy who's even further away. And if you get these plays, and these plays work, they look beautiful, just like the Auston Matthews goal. Tavares picks up the puck in front, and you think he's going to get a wide-open backhand, but no, he feeds it off one more time to the side. Matthews has nobody guarding him because everybody's on Tavares. Tavares is on a prime scoring angle. And then it's like, okay, well, there's the extra pass. he made it look extra pretty. But the extra pretty pass does not always work 100% of the time. And I noticed that a lot throughout the third period. The Leafs were trying to force these beautiful passing plays, even at the end of regulation. You had John Tavares point blank with an opportunity to put it on Demko, but instead of that, he passes it off to the side. He's right in front of the goalie, passes it off, and he forces Demko to make a very nice pad save on, who was it, Michael Bunting, and then Tavares follows up on the rebound. That's at the end of the game, by the way. And this is kind of what we have been saying about Toronto for a long time. Now, I'm not going to go out there and make this an entire anti-Toronto video. That's not my intention over here. But what I did want to talk about was just how Thatcher Demko kept up. Because the Leafs went out there, they had all their chances, they had all their shots, they had 53 of them. But Thatcher Demko, holy, thank goodness this game was at the 4 p.m. time slot, because everybody in Toronto had to stay up, everybody in Toronto had to watch that game, everybody in Toronto had to cling on, dig their fingernails into the bottom of their chairs as this game was winding down, and they would consistently see save after save after save after brilliant save after 2-on-1 save after breakaway save. Thatcher Demko robs the Leafs in this one. The Vancouver Canucks win, but this wasn't really the Canucks win. No, this absolutely wasn't. The Canucks, they kind of sucked. Look at how many shots they had in this game. They had 24. The Leafs had 53. Vancouver barely had any offensive zone time in the third period. This was Thatcher Demko coming out to play, and Vancouver playing like they just wanted to get the win for him. They weren't even trying to go out there and force any more offense, because they were just like, okay, chip it in at the red line, we'll go off on a change, and then we'll get another unit out there, make sure we got fresh legs. They were completely in defense mode, and that's kind of something that we saw a lot more under Travis Green, but, Bruce Boudreau still had this team going out there with a lot more aggression than we had seen under the Green era. And even towards the end, we had ourselves a few prime opportunities. Miller almost scored an empty net, but it was barely offside by the hair of my chinny chin chin. And we had ourselves even more point-blank chances for Bo Horvat, stopped by Mrazek, stuff like that. There was a 2-on-1 with Tyler Mott where he had Petey on his side, but he elected to shoot instead. But either way, it's the Juho Lammikko goal off of a turnover in the neutral zone that is the game winner. Chason takes it on the left wing, comes in with a shot, it's down low, Mrazek kicks it out, and the rebound crew picks it up. Juho Lammikko! Grab yourselves a U-Haul, folks. We are on the road because Lammikko is here and he's got the goal. 3-2 is the Vancouver Canucks final score over here, and I guess you want to take a look at the Toronto Maple Leafs and how the fans are reacting. This is kind of one of those games where it's like, look, I'm a Canucks fan. I'll admit it. Toronto was a better team here. Toronto had better movement. Toronto had better offensive potential. They had better offensive chances. They had better shots. They had better everything. The only thing the Canucks had that was better than Toronto's in this game was goaltending. And that's not even to say that Peter Mrazek was bad. He just kind of got a bad start. And then there was a rebound in front in the third goal that he kind of doesn't really have too much control over. Like, this was a hockey game through and through. Even if the Vancouver Canucks lost, even if Mitch Marner went out there and tied it at the end of the third period and sent it to overtime and eventually blew things open with a breakaway right off the opening draw, even if the Vancouver Canucks went out there and blew this lead, this was still a fun game, and Thatcher Demko should be more than proud for everything that we had seen here tonight. 53 shots on goal, 51 saves. This is the best performance of his career. At least in the regular season. I don't really recall off the top of my head how many saves he made in those Vegas games in the bubble, but Bubble Demko is real. This is kind of the thing, right? Everybody was talking about from the Islanders game previously, oh, Yaroslav Halak, he sucks. If we just started Demko, he would have won. And that might have been true. Thatcher Demko is good enough to the point that I honestly feel like he could start back-to-backs, especially against teams like Arizona and the Islanders, and he'd be fine. It's just Yaroslav Halak, they owed it to him to give him a start, and he absolutely blew it in the worst way possible. Now everybody's calling for Spencer Knight to be the backup instead, and for Halak to wave his no move. Like, how quickly does a guy turn over himself in the fan base's reputation? Like, this was crazy. Yaroslav Halak just a few games ago in his own games, not in Canucks games, because he didn't really play all too much. Just a few games ago for Halak, he was stealing games left, right, and center, and now he's out here as the ultimate scapegoat. Now the Islanders are playing the Flames after playing the Oilers the other night too. So Yaroslav Halak, I mean, if he didn't start on the Islanders game, the Canucks probably would have won, right? I mean, they weren't really his fault, all the goals, but You saw my video on the entire game, so I think you know how I feel about it already. Talk to me in the comments, what do you think about the Thatcher Demkos beating the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2 here? Obviously, Thatcher Demko didn't score any goals, but he sure as heck prevented a whole bunch of them. Vancouver pretty much did not really have any right to win this game, in my opinion. Like, you replace Demko with average goaltending, and they would have lost this game like 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, something like that. So let me know in the comments all your thoughts about this game. I hope you enjoyed this British Trolls 99. And bye.